Hi everyone, we're done with the position project revision and we're moving on to memoir. So for this assignment, we're moving on from writing for capital, writing for your job, or writing to understand how to compete in this world, and into writing for art. So this is a project where you get to be more creative, and you'll do that by writing a memoir. So in a memoir, you'll examine yourself and analyze a part of yourself, finding and expressing your identity. And you're going to do that through composing a short memoir. So the purpose of this assignment is to really think outside the box and practice more complex forms of composition, and also to practice examining and analyzing a text. So the text that you'll be analyzing is yourself, but we're going to use our course book as kind of a model. So the first couple weeks of this module, we'll examine the book, and then in the last few weeks of the module, you'll analyze yourself. So this assignment is going to take about 5 weeks, and it'll be due at the end of week 11. Here are your tasks. So you're reading, and we'll have read our course book and the supplemental course. Texts provided in Canvas, that's week 7. You're going to find an artifact. Your artifact can be anything that kind of represents your identity and elicits a memory that is tied to your identity. So you could do a photo. There's a whole memoir called Lessons of Baklava, I think. The Language of Baklava, that's it. The Language of Baklava, that is all about, built all around recipes, which I think is wonderful. It's a great memoir. There are also items of clothing, figurines, really whatever artifact you choose. It has to just be something that represents your identity and kind of elicits a strong memory. From there, you're going to choose a topic, outline, and compose your memoir. The topic will be week 9, outline week 10, and composing, revising, and submitting week 11. So I hope that this is a nice refresher in the middle of this semester for us. Your guidelines are as follows. Provide an in-depth examination of an aspect of your identity. So if you haven't kind of gotten my theme here yet, again, we're looking for a small snippet in time, a small aspect of your identity, so that you can get in depth with it. So instead of talking broadly about your identity or many identities, you're going to pick a very specific part of your identity and talk about it in depth. It's going to be based on an artifact for your life, from your life, be at least 15 words, 1,500 words. I'm struggling today. 6 to 8 minutes of audio or video are another way to show me that you've done some long form thinking. Follow basic formatting guidelines, be proofread carefully, and I'm asking again, please don't use AI in this assignment except for maybe citations, which you shouldn't have any, but you might. Anything that's beyond citations or grammar checking, that's really outside of what we're trying to do here, which is to dig into yourself. So if you're having AI dig into yourself, that probably isn't going to work that well. So please don't use AI for this assignment. So I've given you an example topic. So it's really about finding that small moment in your life that has something to do with your identity. So memoirs are analytical and about something smaller than a whole life. So don't think autobiography. Autobiography is like, here is exactly what happened to me when I was born all the way through until now. You want to choose a moment in time, an aspect of your identity that you can talk about and analyze at the same time. And we'll talk about that through the use of our book and the other texts too. So that small moment, if I were doing that, I would choose this photo of me. It was December 2021. And this is the day that I actually came out as non-binary. So I kind of knew that I was non-binary, but I hadn't had the courage to really own that, and I hadn't been out. So I chose to get this haircut to it was kind of like a pivotal moment where I felt ready to be vocal about my identity, and I could wear my identity with my haircut. So in my memoir, I would discuss this moment and kind of everything around it. I would analyze the courage it took me and the courage to be out. And I would focus on a very short amount of time, maybe the couple weeks. I went back and forth for a few weeks, and I was really nervous about the day of the cut. But then ultimately, I think as you can see in my face, I was thrilled. I felt like myself for the first time, and I was ready to show it and say it. So what I wouldn't do is begin my memoir at the very first moment where I felt kind of a twinge of identity dysmorphia. That's just too far away. And I also wouldn't just give basic facts. I wouldn't just tell the story like, I went to get my hair cut, I sat in the chair, I had the cut, I took the photo. I'd really want to dig into my emotions at that point and really analyze what that moment meant to me. So, other considerations. This is your time to shine if you are a creative person. And even if you're not, it's a moment that you can allow yourself to stretch or move beyond what you've been thinking composition is. So you're going to want to make sure to be really vivid. It's a story. You're going to want to use imagery and descriptive words, dig deeply, be a little bit vulnerable. And even though this is a personal memoir, your audience isn't you. You'll want to choose one just as you did. So I would probably choose queer people like me who didn't come out until they were far into adulthood. I probably wouldn't want this to be just for everybody because it's very personal. I'd want to make sure that my audience was with me. So you've got some do's and don'ts. Think hard about your topic and look for a unique one. Brainstorm your topic. Discuss your topic with your friends, relatives, classmates, etc., those people who know you, so that you can kind of help yourself see outside of your own moment and your own memories. Make sure you complete all the steps in the writing process and go to tutoring. Ask lots of questions. Don't forget to use MLA or APA format for even just the formatting of your document, even if you don't have citations. And don't provide an obvious, like, I'm not looking for the first time that you that you posted something online that got more than 500 likes or things like that. I'm really looking for you to be introspective and think critically and creatively. So your bullet points, you have to accomplish bullet points 1 and 2, and you have to do at least 4 out of 5. So have a narrow focused topic that analyzes your identity. Include all of the parts of an academic composition. So we're still working within those confines of academic composition, intro, body, conclusion. But remember, this is a story, so it's going to be a more complex academic composition than just, we are not at all looking for the 5-paragraph essay here. Make sure you use clear language that's appropriate for your audience. This might mean having dialogue that is in a different English than academic English. Really think about your audience and write for that audience. So if you are someone who has a different mother language than English, maybe you're going to write some of it, like particularly the dialogue, in your mother language. Be creative like that and make sure that your audience knows who they are and who you're talking to. Come close to 1,500 words, 6 to 8 minutes or something other long form, and show creative motivation. We're looking for something unique and interesting here, something that grabs the audience and keeps them interested. So it's a little bit of a shorter list for the multimedia options. I took some out that I thought that this just really wouldn't work for, and even some of them I'm still not quite sure, but I left them in case you wanted to be, um, you know, a little bit more creative or outside the box. For example, not really sure how you create a trifold poster into a memoir, but if you want to try it, I'm willing to look at it. Same with like an instruction manual. I think it could be really funny if somebody wrote an instruction manual about themselves in terms of a memoir, but maybe that one might be a little challenging. But ultimately, yes, you can write this into an essay, but as this is the creative one, if you have an inkling to try a multimedia option, I think this one would be a great time to try it out. So if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope that you're excited about this one because I am so excited about this one and I can't wait to read your memoirs.